Hi everyone, and welcome back, and thanks for being here. Midweek already. It's also the 6th day of January already, and we're still talking about some dry air hanging on through tomorrow late, and some warm and some wet conditions thereafter. Similar scenario as I outlined for you 24 hours ago, but definitely some changes and some updates to be made, and still looking toward, not forward, to some Arctic air next week. I'll tell you more about that in just a few moments. A great deal of headlines to cover this evening, including the passing of a former McGoffin County Judge Executive and our current friend and chairman of the Board of Education. We'll talk about that also. Bill Gates has now gone public a bit, quite a bit actually, with a video as it pertains to his trip to Eastern Kentucky and Betsy Lane, and we'll have that for you. I've got some other unique news, guaranteed you'll only find here. A whole lot of other information to pass along to you as well. We'll get to that in just a few moments. Our only headline tonight, before we speak of that, a couple of incidents we have to refer to. The first is a fatality of traffic-related death in Eastern Kentucky, specifically in Floyd County. Very limited details at this hour. I do know that the deceased, the victim, has been identified as Ricky Little, who passed away after a collision near Route 80 and the intersection of Turkey Creek on Route 80 and near the intersection of Turkey Creek. A few other details were made, but police and or family members had released officially the identification of the deceased. Ricky Little, his age, the cause of the accident, still haven't received word as of yet. We'll talk more about that on tomorrow's program. I do know that 80 was shut down for a significant amount of time per the investigation into the most recent traffic fatality here in Eastern Kentucky. It was an elderly woman and her 24-year-old grandson, Elijah Cantrell, who passed away in that terrible and deadly fire in Morgan County just outside of West Liberty yesterday. Right now, authorities have yet to formally release their ID and the cause of the blaze, which may never be known, but we have learned that is indeed the case. She was confined to a wheelchair, and information gathered at the scene by family and firefighters indicated as though the grandson may have been trying to save his grandmother's life, but they both perished in the blaze. The fire does not appear to be suspicious in nature at this time. There was some possibility that a wood stove may be to blame. However, the fire was so great and the damages left behind were as well that they may never know the exact cause of the fire, but it is still under investigation. But once again, no suspicious activity is believed to have taken part. Well, it's with a heavy heart that I have to come before you tonight and relay the following information, which many of you may very well know. Arrangements are being made at this hour in honor of former McGoffin County Judge Executive and McGoffin County Board of Education Chairman Bill W. May. Certainly a sad and somber day as members of his family, most importantly, but also as a community at large, say goodbye to a former county judge executive of McGoffin, as well as the current chairman of the McGoffin County Board of Education. We received word of the passing of Bill W. May, Judge May, earlier this morning. We're told that he passed away at his home around 2 o'clock during the overnight.
I've been I've sat with Mr. Bill W. May. We always call him Judge Bill W. May because he is this past Judge McGoffin County, and we enjoyed calling him that. That's the way he liked to be addressed as Judge Bill W. May, and there was quite enjoyment to sit with Bill W. May on the board. I'm not a board member myself, but I sit with the board in an advisory capacity. And one thing about Judge May is that he was always enjoyable. He was always educational. He is a highly religious man. I know where he's going when he leaves this earth, and I know he'll be there. And someday, him and I will be together in this special place.
As much as his personality, his public service is well known to all, and it actually goes back to 1967 when he first became employed with the Christian Appalachian Project, then the initiation or beginning of the Happy Pappy program. He retired as CEO of CAP in '94 after faithfully serving for 27 years. Later, he would get involved in local politics and successfully won the election of McGoffin County's highest elected seat, that of Judge Executive, in 2003, where he served out his 4-year term. Most recently, and almost 3 years ago precisely, he won another election, this to the McGoffin County Board of Education. another seat that he took great pride in.
The McGoffin County School District will miss him because he did put the children first. And that's one thing that I really liked about it. He was very voiceful, very talkative. He would say whatever he thought was right, no matter if it made you mad or not. Not like that. Got sick, had been on the board long when he got sick. Missed very few meetings. Always active. Called in and checked in. Always called in and checked in, make sure he understood what was on the agenda. And he became the board chairman and did a good job as chairman. And we're going to sorely miss him because of his guidance and the ability that he had to look ahead of things coming up.
Funeral arrangements are still being made this evening and to be announced very soon, I believe, by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. We'll have what we are able to relay as far as services are concerned in just a few moments when we reach our obituaries. I also reached out to one of his closest friends today who we may try to speak with tomorrow. But regardless, we will have more information on his services briefly tonight, but certainly as they are completed on tomorrow's program. I have to make mention of something that's been on my heart and my mind all day long, just in passing. And it was just such a wonderful opportunity that I didn't know was as wonderful as it was at the time. But exiting the Paintsville Walmart just a few days, I think it was, before Thanksgiving, I had walked out. I'd been there related to a story and a theft case that I was looking into. And Bill was sitting on the bench. And there's you walk in or out of the store, and I was in my hurried fashion as always, not time to really do anything else but think where I needed to be and what I wasn't getting done. And I walked by and I thought, I'm just going to take a minute, not because he was sick or I didn't even know how sick he was at the time that it had come back, his cancer had come back that severe. But I'm just going to take a breather. This is a wonderful excuse to do so. I sat down, we had a wonderful, lovely conversation, and I got up and left not knowing that would be the last time that we would speak. But I was grateful for that moment and for knowing him as long as we have. Our condolences go out to Margaret and Libby and everyone in the family. And we'll have more on his arrangements on tomorrow's program, certainly. With that said, Bill Gates has gone public tonight, as he will. Hard not to do for Bill Gates, but he has done so talking about his recent trip to Floyd County. Back this past November, he and his wife Melinda made their way to eastern Kentucky. They wished to visit students and teachers and staff at the Betsy Lane High School, and today we have received a video of a portion of their day's journey. You can find it under Gates Notes. It's his personal blog. It's also been posted on YouTube. It'll be on our program here and on the website as well. But in it, he also speaks about how surprised he was by the unusual classroom that he walked into at Betsy Lane, that of Ricky Thacker's, and how he and Melinda were there to see firsthand the amazing progress that they had been making in what is considered by many to be one of the toughest places to live in America. Over the past few years, they've been focusing hard and seeing the fruits of their labor with rising ACT and graduation rates, ACT scores. And it was this video that was posted today as a result of their journey.
I've never been to Eastern Kentucky before, and one of the great classroom experiences was being in Mr. Thacker's classroom. Everybody felt engaged. His energy was unbelievable. The key thing is having great teachers. The way they take a kid who's discouraged and give them a little bit of success, a sense of possibility.
My name is Ricky Thacker. I'm the Algebra 1 teacher at Betsy Lane High School. Coal mining is Eastern Kentucky's main source of income. So seeing a sharp decline in the coal industry has impacted our community in a negative light. Betsy Lane High School has a 75% rate of free and reduced lunch, and we have seen a dramatic increase in drug use. But when I close my classroom door, the only issue I have is making sure that my students are engaged and they are learning. And they understand that I care for them. So I wanted to take the focus out of me standing in front of a classroom lecturing for 40 minutes, and I wanted it to be student-centered. Classroom redesign was my idea to change the classroom environment to help my students. We have not changed the classroom structure or environment from 1915 to 2015. The impact has been phenomenal. The student engagement is tremendously high. They are exploring concepts together, and hopefully it will make our students more college and career ready. But sometimes you can't just concentrate on a student's education. You've got to get to know those students. That's why my colleague and I participate in home visits. We try to do one per week. We just want to see how the students are, and if the parent and guardian and us can get on the same page, that makes the success rate for our students much higher. I just love being a positive role model for my students, and I want to be that person to help assist and guide them to their success.
For more, including a conversation between the students and Mr. Gates and Mrs. Gates themselves, it's as simple as going on to gatesnotes.com. I'll be right back with more headlines after these words. Okay, I have two dreams specifically tonight that I want to refer to. I probably have well more than that. Yet one of them is to win the Powerball jackpot, which has already grown to an estimated $500 million tonight, sixth largest in history. You can play for as little as $1. Your chances are much higher than that of winning, about 1 in 290-some million to 1. Nevertheless, somebody's going to win sometime, and as the old saying goes, might as well be you. Or me, or someone we know, or hopefully we're related to, right? My other dream is to see Saturday Night Live. It's been a long time, lifetime dream, one that I'm starting to realize I may never achieve, but man, would I like to go on January the 16th. I even traveled to Lexington one time to meet one of the cast members of Saturday Night Live just a couple of years ago. Tried every way in the world to talk him into helping me get some tickets. You have to put them in like a year in advance, and then if you never know when you're going to get drawn for, I've never been drawn for, and kind of give it up. Nevertheless, check out Saturday Night Live's picture they posted. To the column on your left, January the 16th, Adam Driver. That would be cool. More so, Chris Stapleton will be your live entertainment on SNL January 16. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want to go to. You got any connections with NBC? I'll cut some grass for a few. I'll do just about what it takes. And on another entertainment note, don't forget the People's Choice Awards are tonight, and you never know who you're going to see there either. Check that out. He's making his way around the country after, of course, that major appearance at the most recent other awards show. But Chris Stapleton has become a household name, and he's headed, among other places, to SNL on Saturday the 16th. Set your clocks. Stay up for that one. Johnson County Constable Bob Hayden made a court appearance earlier this week on charges he is facing per an indictment. Hayden was indicted last month on tampering and second-degree official misconduct charges. He entered a plea of not guilty officially in Johnson Circuit Court earlier this week. Pretrial conference has been set for the 5th day of next month. The 63-year-old constable from Thelma is to appear then. His indictment alleges that in November of this past year, just a couple of months ago, he allegedly tampered with a witness when he knowingly and unlawfully admitted to induce a subject by the name of Frank Ross to absent himself from an official proceeding, knowing that he may be called as a witness to testify in that case. Authorities are also alleging that Hayden also impeded the investigation that was ongoing by the Paintsville City Police Department and the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. A trial date's not been set in the case. I need to pause for one more break, or maybe two, but we've got more headlines to come. Stay with us. Well, I'm very proud and privileged to be here with you each and every night and to be able to bring you news and information as we do most often that you're never going to see or hear anywhere else. And sometimes it's lighthearted, interesting things of human nature or interest, and that certainly will be where this next one falls, and possibly will into a lot of other categories. But whenever Sarge Rouse shows up at your front door, it's usually good for something interesting. This time, turnips big enough to carve like jack-o'-lanterns.
Where you want him at, sis? It's former Farmer of the Year. That's Farmer of the Year in 2014.
Oh, that's right. We announced that, didn't we?
Yeah. So Mr. Perkins is now Marvin Perkins. Lois is a former Farmer of the Year.
So what the?
Son, the biggest job I had about these, well, somebody called them pumpkins, but they're turnips. The biggest job I had to guard them. Hanson Round tried to come every day or two to sneak my turnips out of the field. He thought they was pumpkins for Halloween.
Now, do you leave them in long, or what's the? You treat them any different than anybody else?
Well, you're supposed to get them out in August. Earlier you get them out, the better. And they've grown all year round, and I've had them grow to January the 4th before, but they've never been this big.
How big? Glad you asked. One weighs 7 pounds, one weighs close to it, one's 27 inches around, the other one about 26. Altogether, 20 pounds of turnips you're looking at. Don't know what the state or world record is, but I'm pretty sure I know who the county holder is.
I don't know. I probably have to borrow Hanson's chainsaw to cut them up. They're so big.
Now, I don't know what other tricks he uses, but I'm sure that the extra warm December had something to do with it, but I think probably it's more Sarge than it is the weather or any other factors. Well, let's talk about your weather while we're on the subject, and I got to wrap it up real quick, short and sweet tonight. A low of 21, partly cloudy, calm wind, not in the teens tonight. That's a good thing. Another good thing is we're going to see temperatures continue to climb, and we're going to see dry air continue through tomorrow evening. That's the thought you want to hold on to and not focus too much on next week. As far as the next day, tomorrow, 52, mostly sunny. Told you. Nice. 36 for nighttime lows. A late chance of showers Thursday. That chance of Thursday's showers will continue into your early Friday, and then thereafter, we'll see cloudy skies becoming sunny after some morning showers are likely tomorrow. Temperatures, though, check it out. Not tomorrow, Friday. You know what I mean. 55. I'm excited about the temperatures. Can you understand? 55 for your high, 42 for your low, which is better than, not even close to where daytime highs, well, close to where daytime highs, I guess, have been the past couple of days. Nevertheless, we're still talking about temperatures way above average, and we're talking about some nice temperatures for your Friday and Saturday as well. 55, 37, cloudy, more rain into your Saturday, and then we've got Sunday looking at us with 39 and 23, and then that's when we might get a chance to see some showers, maybe change into some snow, and then Arctic air behind all of that. That's it in a nutshell. That's all I've got time for. Not even time for a proper good night or goodbye. So thank you for watching, and have a good night.